Leon Morris heading the championship on 186 points ahead of Mike Edwards. Kenny Gilbertson in third position. Robbie Brown, Darren Fry, Jamie Poole, Aaron Brown, Hopkins Holden and Mark Cheetham round out the top 10. Barry Paul, Sarah Jordan, Ross Connolly, Poyser Hasler, the Russian Ivanov, skipper Keane Cruikshank. is ahead of that bunch. As one of the riders goes down there, and I think that's
21.
Mark Cheetham. Mark Cheetham. Scotty Cheetham has just taken a tumble there, which looks on the exit of Sheen Curve.
Yeah.
As they go across the line this time around, it's another fastest lap from Leon Morris, and he's gapped them. He's up the ante. It's now 2.6 seconds. So rather than Edwards actually reeling him in, if anything, Morris has decided to just up the ante. They hit the half distance stage, then that 2.6 seconds got to take some bridging, is that, because these four between them are now just starting to trip each other up.
Yeah, that's right, and it just allows Morris to just all the time inch away. He can use every bit of the track without even you know, without worrying about someone coming on the inside. Now look at this. This is the incident. Oh God, blimey, that was a horrible looking crash. Lucky we had seen him up and about. He's coming out of Sheen Curve. He's got on the power a little bit too much. The rear's come round, stepped round, gripped, and then high-sided him. But as we say, he's okay. But,
not what you needed at that particular juncture. When the back goes and then the front, you are a passenger for that one. Leon Morris still continues to make good his escape at the front.
Sorry, Fry's got past Gilbertson. So Dan Fry there has made a move and just got past Kenny Gilbertson. So Fry is up to 4th. Oh, there's a bit of the debris. This is coming out of Sheen Curve. That is, now that might slow the leader down a fraction. No one can pass here, remember, because of that. So that mudguard's right in the way. That front mudguard just needs to obviously
diminished adhesion flag, that orange and yellow stripe flag in the background dictates that there is some substance on the track.
Marshall's doing a brilliant job here as always.
As ever, the best marshals in the world we've got in the UK. Leon Morris then across the line yet again. See what the gap is this time around. 2.6. He's upped it again. 2.8. He doesn't have to do this, but the fact is that now with 6 laps out of 10 has gone, and that 2.8 seconds. But that battle for second position, Spike Edwards and Robbie Brown have just put a little bit of space between themselves and Darren Fry and Kenny Gilbertson. Steve Jordan is the next, Aaron Brown, Ricky Holden, Dan Hopkins, and the journalist Bruce Wilson in 10th position. Now that's a good performance for Bruce on the 848 bike, because you know all about riding that one, James. You did a little bit better than that though, did you?
Well, you know, unfortunately we had technical problems in both, but I was dicing with Kenny Gilbertson and Edwards with just a couple of laps to go when my race ran. But it was just great fun. It was lovely to get out. Really enjoyed riding these bikes. I mean, they're a lovely thing, this 848, like a little mini super bike, but with like 250 handling. Really swoop it in, really get the corner speed, and you know, there's some good guys out there. And it was just a lot of fun to go and do.
It sounds like you want to start racing again, James. No. You must not do this too often. We do in the commentary box more than we do on the racetrack at present.
No, it was the opposite. Actually, made me realise, even though I did really enjoy it, I've been done. It's a young man's game. I'm quite happy sitting here and talking about it now.
Well, this is the battle between number 81 Aaron Brown and number 10 Dan Hopkins in that battle a little bit further down the field, as they Aaron Brown number 81 out there, and that is the number 69 is well placed in there as well, Peter Hasler, as they head back in to complete lap number 7, so coming on towards 3/4 race distance. As the battle further down the field, Leon Morris continues to make good his exit at the front. His lead now at 2/3 distance is now over 3 seconds, half a second up on Mike Edwards, who is half a second up on Robbie Brown in that 3rd position. But these guys at the front. There's the journalist Bruce Wilson.
Yeah, that's the Mercedes Vito press bike, the bike I was riding.
Does a lot of work for Motorcycle Sport and Leisure and various other titles down there at Horncastle in Lincolnshire. Bruce Wilson, who used to race in Junior Superstock. He's had a few outings in KTMs and Harley Davidsons. A racing journalist out of Boston, well on his way in that 10th position. But there's a leader. That is Leon Morris, number 2 on the bike. Bound to be number 1 surely at the end of this year. Spike Edwards in that 2nd position. Then we've got Robbie Brown in 3rd still.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you what a start does, because Leon Morris, you know, they're all lapping about the same sort of times, but he got his head down at the start and just made that break, and then he could really control the race, which he's so comfortable doing. Mike Edwards has got a fraction of breathing space there, but it's not done yet. Lap 7 of 10. But you know, there you see Morris just peeling in. They can see him, but he made all that on the start.
And he's still continuing to pull a gap, is Leon Morris. He's not resting on his laurels one iota. He puts in another quick sector, but the rider to keep an eye on is the 3rd in this bunch, the white-clad figure of the number 1 machine of the defending champion, and that is Darren Fry. When we were here at Brands Hatch for the opening round, he had a big crash. It was some doubt as to whether he'd be on the grid, and he managed to get out there, and he is putting a quick lap in, and that is another cracking lap from Darren Fry. He puts a 1:32.4 in.
That is actually the quickest lap of the race. So Darren Fry, the bike we're looking there on the build-based Ducati, actually putting in the fastest lap of the race. So that is why he's right in that battle.
A cracking ride by Darren Fry. The big problem he's got is trying to get past Robbie Brown. We know how difficult it is to get past Robbie Brown. Spike Edwards proved that. And then not only has he got to get past Robbie Brown, he's got to get past Edwards itself. And with just a couple of laps remaining, then that is a big ask. The thing that they've been thinking about now is that, assuming that Morris clears off at the front, which he has done, only 2 more spots on the podium, and there's 3 of them currently duking that out.
Oh, you could see actually Fry missed a gear coming over the top there. You could see he was so anxious he had to go for it again. Just cost him a little bit of time. And you're right, he can't, with just a lap and a half to go, he's going to be desperate to get past. But you never know, it's racing, it's what it's all about.
Kenny Gilbertson a little bit further down off of the pace, given that he took victory on the Indy circuit at the earlier race. Then he is down in 5th position. That's not going to do Kenny's aspirations for the championship any good whatsoever. Leon Morris has just got a little bit of a gap at the championship lead. Then Mike Edwards, Kenny Gilbertson and Robbie Brown. And with Gilbertson now languishing down in 5th position, and that dark figure there just looks behind him there, does Kenny Gilbertson. He can't seem to do anything about the trio in front of him.
No, Kenny Gilbertson, he did have some new leathers on earlier. Wasn't sure whether he was brave enough to use them yet, whether he'd scrubbed them in, but I noticed he's gone back to his faithful set, the set he won in yesterday. So us racers, we get very superstitious with these things.
Absolutely. Well, lap 9 of 10 completed. No sign of Leon Morris. 3.7 seconds the gap now. He continues to pull away from the field. But this is the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th position between 121 Mike Edwards, the part-time gritter driver. That's what he does over winter when he's not racing. He works for North Yorkshire County Council on the gritters, and he's out and about keeping the roads clear during the course of the winter. Just takes a look behind him, sees a face full of Robbie Brown. He was badly injured in the Virgin Media Cup race at Donington Park a few years ago. Good to see that he's back on a bike. And Darren Fry, it's not often that we see Darren Fry racing at British Championship level, but he does know his way around the Ducati848 by virtue of the fact he won the championship last year.
Yeah, this is also, do you know though, we've got Morris with this 3.7 lead. It's only the 2nd time this year that someone's won by more than a second. This has been such a tight class, you know. I mean, the closest gap they've had at Assen, which was just 0.07 of a second between the two. So this is actually unusual for Morris to get away with such a lead. Yeah,
but he made the start, James. You hit the nail on the head. That was the key to it. And these 3 were tripping themselves up. You look at the lap times of 32.5, 32.6, 32.6. They're all about the same. But the key was that on good tyres with a clear track, Leon Morris, he's just managed this lead as they come in to start their final lap. This is a battle just a little bit further down the field between the number 10 machine of Dan Hopkins and 11, and that's Steve Jordan, as they just battle for 6th and 7th position a little bit further down the field. But important points that these guys are battling for. There's prizes right the way down the order as they just about to come into their last lap. That little bump just on the entry to clear it just unsettles the bikes. It makes me so nervous.
It does, although you can see that it unsettled it a little bit more than it should. You know, when the bike's set a little bit better than that, it should more rise up and down than make it wobble quite as much. This is the last lap, and the question is, has Robbie Brown got anything for Mike Edwards, or can he fend him off?
Well, Edwards is in the box seat at present, unless there's a major problem for Liam Morris. Morris is going to take gold medal in this one, but that is Mike Edwards, 49 years young Spike Edwards, originally from Wigan in Lancashire, as we said, now making his home in Harrogate in North Yorkshire. There's Liam Morris. That's the Southern rider who's away. He's got to be looking for yet another victory. Here's Brown on the inside. Does he take a look? It's a brave man that tries in towards Hawthorne Bend. Not on this occasion. Spike Edwards, the tyres you can see just moving around a little bit. Brown has another look on the inside as they go through Westfield. Edwards is having none of it.
Wide. Oh, he went really wide there. He was trying to fend him off. He's managed to keep his spot, though.
Options are now running close as they come uphill into Sheen Curve. Bend it right through the double apex right-hander in towards the bank left-hander. Brown has a look on the inside yet again. Can't make it this time. And I think, barring a mistake here from Spike Edwards, there's one more opportunity for Brown, and I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, he might be able to beat him on the run to the line. That's all he can do now. Try and get close here. We know that he's got a light package. Go around the outside, square it off, and beat him to the line.
Yeah, well, Mike Edwards, he looks like he's got the power on. He's a wily old fox, is Mike Edwards. He's not going to be outdone, but it's victory for Liam Morris, 2nd position for Mike Edwards, 3rd, a valiant effort for Robbie Brown, with Darren Fry taking 4th position. Well, the battle a little bit further down the order. Did we go? Kenny Gilbertson goes across the line, some 10 seconds down. Obviously a problem.
I was going to say, definitely a problem.
Kenny Gilbertson. Dan Hopkins comes across the line next, ahead of the number 11, and that is Steve Jordan. And then we've got 55 Ricky Holden, then 81 Aaron Brown, and Bruce Wilson is going to be the last of the top 10, the journalist on the 848 guest bike. But Leon Morris, well, that is another 25 points. Took a double victory at Brands Hatch, a double victory at Assen, then he took one of the victories at Monza, so that is his 6th win of the season for little Leon Morris. And he is diminutive, he's a very small rider. He's done a lot of racing in the British paddock.
Great rider.
A great effort there from Leon Morris, and he had another maximum, just 6 races to go, 2 more at Cadwell Park, 2 at Castle Coombe, and then the final at Silverstone, and he is well on his way to taking victory in the 2011 Rapid Solicitors Ducati848 Challenge. There he is, Leon Morris. A big crowd here at Brands Hatch to witness that. Bill Base, the title sponsors of the series. Number 2, he finished 2nd in the championship last year, did Leon Morris, and he'll be happy enough with that. Pleased for Robbie Brown as well. That was a good ride by Robbie Brown as well. And
Mike Edwards, second of the weekend. He's still such a battler.
So, results from race 2 here at Brands Hatch. His victory for Leon Morris ahead of Mike Edwards with Robbie Brown. Darren Fry, Kenny Gilbertson came home a distant 5th ahead of Dan Hopkins, Steve Jordan, Ricky Holden, Aaron Brown, and dangerous Bruce Wilson. Jamie Poole, Clint Tarnowski, Piers Poyser, Connolly are the final point scorers. Cruikshank, Hasler, Keane, skipper, and Mark Cheetham, who we saw crash out earlier in the race. So, the way that the championship looks after 10 of the 16 races, Leon Morris increasing that championship lead to now 50 points. That's 2 race victories ahead of Mike Edwards. Robbie Brown there in 3rd position, just a couple of points ahead of Kenny Gilbertson. Darren Fry still not out of the equation in 5th position. Jamie Poole, Dan Hopkins, Aaron Brown, Ricky Holden and Steve Jordan in the top 10. Mark Cheetham didn't add to his tally after that big crash. Barry Paul, Ross Connolly, Poyser Hasler, the Russian Ivanov, skipper Keane Cruikshank and Tarnowski. So the Rapid Solicitors 848 Ducati Challenge, the 2nd race here at Brands Hatch, the first on the full circuit, the original race on the Indy circuit, which Kenny Gilbertson won. Then saw Leon Morris just get the whole shot, and from that point in time he was never headed throughout the 10 laps. Darren Fry got out of the saddle very early on in the race as Kenny Gilbertson on the silver bike just chased him down. This was the battle a little bit further down the field. Mike Edwards put a move on Robbie Brown as they went in towards Druids, and we saw Scotty Cheetham get all sideways as he came round Sheen Curve, and he took a big head beater of a crash. Good news was that he'll be feeling a little bit second-hand tomorrow, but he walked away from that. There was some debris on the track. The riders just had to take it a little bit careful as they battled through the field. This was a battle a little bit further down the order as the rest of the field scrapped it out. Robbie Brown tried on the final lap to get past, but he couldn't quite do it as number 11 machine of Steve Jordan battled to the checkered flag, points all the way down the order. But as great victory there for number 2 Leon Morris ahead of Mike Edwards 121, and number 34 Robbie Brown taking the final podium spot.
Well, we're here with a battered Robbie Brown there after that scrap with Mike Edwards, our 3rd place finisher. Robbie Brown, how was it for you out there?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we went out with a good setup, and, well, what we thought was a good setup. We got a good start, and I was right where I needed to be, you know, right behind Leon, and I thought I could keep that pace, and had a bit of a moment going into Paddock Hill, and it was a bit sketchy, and from then on, it was front-end grip was just minimal. There was hardly any there, and then obviously battling that with the rear end, it's a bit of a nightmare, to be honest, but yeah, it's obviously good for the team. You know, Ducati Manchester have helped massively. I wouldn't even be here without them, you know, with the help of like AGB Transport, 4Net Technologies, you know, they're all behind me, which is good to know, you know, and even after not winning, you know, it's nice to win, obviously, but they're all behind me even when I don't win and when the chips are down, so it's great to, you know, take some metal work back, you know, so.
Robbie, I like it that even though the chips are down, you still land a podium. Even on bad days, it goes so well for you. We'll let you go to the podium. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Robbie Brown there, our 3rd place finisher now, 2nd place finisher, and the man who, before we came to these interviews, appeared here in front of the camera and gave Robbie a swift dead leg, which we like, is Mike Edwards. Aggressive on both fronts there, really, Mike, on the pair of you. There were some hard moves going in.
Yeah, Robbie, him and his bike, a really good combination, and it was really difficult to pass. So I waited for a few laps just for things to settle down, but Leon had already gapped us, so I just made a bit of a lunge and then just got my head down. But I was having to defend at the same time again, and it was really awkward. So, as the usual story, points make prizes. Just keep going.
You enjoy it? You seem to.
Oh, that's what you'd get out of bed in the morning for. It's just brilliant. Absolutely love it.
Brilliant, love it. And the man of your advancing years, let's just put it like that. Nice to see you've still got plenty of fire in the belly.
Yeah, just keep on going. When they nail the lid down, that's enough.
Like it. We'll let you go to the podium. Well done, Mike. Our second place finisher there, Mike Edwards. And now our race winner, our runaway race winner, Leon Morris. Well, once you got your head down and you broke it, they didn't see which way you went, Leon.
No, straight away from the start, you've got to be so hard on the first few laps. And the plan was obviously just to get a good start, and if we could get in front, try and pull a gap. I didn't look behind the whole race long, but by lap 2 I see that I had like plus half a second, then +1, and it just kept growing. So brilliant, yeah, unbelievable.
It all went according to plan. It was a great ride by Leon Morris. We'll let you go to the podium. Well done, Leon.
Can I just say a quick thanks again to all the sponsors, JHB, Build-Based Ducati, all my personal sponsors, and happy birthday to Jan Gregory.
Nice one. We like a good happy birthday to Jan Gregory. Whoever Jan Gregory is, happy birthday to you. Right, we're going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have the 848 podium, and we'll start our build-up for the Metzler National Superstock 1000s. Oh yes, that's on the way. Come back for that in a couple of minutes. Well, welcome back to Brands Hatch. A quick date and time for your diary. Thursday at 9:30 in the evening, British Eurosport 2 for the support race show from round 8 of the British Superbike Championships here at Brands Hatch. We'll see you there for that. Well, this is the podium here for the Ducati848 Challenge. Leon Morris as fast as anybody. Again, the cork out of the champagne. But Mike Edwards, forever the reprobate, no matter how many of his 49 years he's got under his belt. Mike Edwards will always shake things up on the podium. If not the champagne itself, then the rider who beat him to the first place, Leon Morris. But a good race there on the 848 Ducatis. Right, we're just a couple of minutes away from the start of the Metzler National Superstock 1000 race.